Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We'll also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 107 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days out of the year this year, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,250 miles within that time frame. This is only my second full year ever running. In 2020, I was able to run 1,001 miles within 175 days out of that year. So this will be a 25% step up in miles and 100% step up in the amount of days I'll actually be running this year. So it's a big challenge, and so far I've been so grateful and really looking forward for every single day. I've also challenged myself to do this podcast so you guys can follow along with me on my journey. So that being said, today is day 107, and I did pump out 3.7 today. Today was a little bit of a different day. We'll get into that as to why later into the episode. But as today I did 3.7. Now for the week, that put me at 24.9, so just right under 25. And if you've followed along in any of the episodes before, you guys know that I try to do a bare minimum of 25 miles per week. That's at least what I need to get, and that is in order to hit 100 miles for the month. In order to hit at least 1,200 miles for the year, I needed to do just over 100 miles a month in order to hit the 1,250. So 25 is the bare minimum. I'm sitting pretty much right at that right now. I still got to run tomorrow, but I usually try to hit 33 for the week. We'll see how much I get done for tomorrow. I'm 8 away from that, but I had planned on doing 18 for the hell of it, but we might cut that down to 16. We might cut down to 13. We'll find that out tomorrow once it gets here. Other than that, though, for the month, like I said, I've been trying to get at least over 100 miles per month, and realizing that I would have to do that, I decided I would challenge myself every month to the 100-mile challenge and do it in honor of different charities and try to do a fundraiser that follows along with it every month. So in January, February, and March, we were able to raise money for the American Cancer Society, the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network, as well as the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Now we're sitting here in April, and we are 78.6 miles into the month. That's a huge chunk already done, and we are raising money and awareness for Autism Speaks. April is Autism Awareness Month, guys, and Autism Speaks is a great fundraiser. So if you guys would like to help out and donate money, you guys can find the link to donate on the Defining Discipline Instagram and Facebook story, as well as my personal page's Instagram and Facebook story. And right on the story, in the middle, it'll say the April 100-mile challenge for Autism Speaks. And up at the top, you'll see the circle for whoever's page it is, if it's the Defining Discipline page or if it's my personal page, to let you know whose story you're watching. And next to it, it'll say donate on Facebook. You click on that, it'll open up the whole new Facebook page where you can donate. All donations are welcome. Whatever you guys can donate, it helps out a lot. So don't think if you can only afford to donate like $5 right now that it's not even worth it, and it's not even worth the trouble. It is. It'll help out a lot. These people really appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. We're trying to raise as much money as we can for this fundraiser this month, guys, so every little bit helps. I've made my donation this month. If you guys can help out, it goes a long way. That being said, I do know times are tough, so if you can't afford to donate at all, don't feel bad. But if you really still want to help out, especially with this fundraiser, the best thing you can do is you can share it. So there's people that you are friends with that are on your friends list that I am not friends with. I do not know. They'll be able to see this fundraiser. Hopefully they'll click on it, let them know what it's about. Hopefully they can share it as well, and then maybe they'll donate and just spread the word and raise awareness and raise some money for Autism Speaks and just raise awareness for autism in general in the month of April here, guys. Like I said, I'm sitting at 78.6 miles for the month. The goal is at least 100 This month, though, I'm really trying to pump out as many as I can. Let's see if I can go for as much as I've ever done, go for my personal record. So other than that, guys, I am sitting at 443.4 miles for the year, guys. That is a huge chunk out of the year. Grateful for each day. My health has been great. The opportunity to be able to run every single day. Weather got through the winter. There were some days where were harder than others, especially with lots of snow. But thankfully, here in Michigan, especially in 2021, we didn't have that too bad of a winter, snow-wise at least. There were days where it was heavy, but I can remember back in, especially a long time ago, us having really heavy winters, snow days a lot. This year was pretty mild, chilly and windy, cold, but got through it. Now we are pretty much going to go pushing our way through spring right now and into summer, and that is my actual dreadful months here, or the summer. I hate the summer more than I hate the winter. This is going to be the most challenging part of my journey this year, is going to be making it through the summer. Other than that, guys, though, you guys heard my miles for the day, 3.7, the week, 24.9, the month, 78.6, and the year is 443.4. Okay, guys, now for today, episode 107, I didn't have anything planned, so something actually happened today and surprised me. So that's actually the theme for today. It is surprise, because sometimes surprises happen and they throw you off, and sometimes the surprise that happens throws you off in a good way, sometimes it throws you off in a bad way. We'll kind of touch on both of those, but we're going to start with what happened today and how it threw me off, and the good way, because it threw me off in a really good way. So wasn't expecting it today. My dad made a special trip to come visit me and his granddaughter and my wife, and didn't let any of us know. And my mom, he called my mom for my mom to pick him up from the airport and come and drop him off here and surprise us. And I literally almost started crying. I was just so happy. The surprise was awesome. It was great. I was actually getting ready to go for a run, so it threw me off. It threw off my whole entire timing of the day and my plans. But I was just happy that, he showed up and he came, and it was a great surprise. And like I said, sometimes surprises you get, they'll throw you through a loop in a good way. And it's still, it still kind of altered the schedule, but still got things done. We're still here. It's getting late right now, almost pushing 10 o'clock that I'm doing the episode, because everything that happened. Hopefully I'll get it uploaded in time, but it was just a good surprise. And, when things like that happen, you got to alter your plan, but to always still try to stick through with it and try to get the things you need to get done that day, which I did. We actually went to dinner over at my mom's house before I ran, and I decided I'd just run home from my mom's. I made it a different run just to make it the 3.5 I needed, so only took 30 minutes out of the day. Didn't take too much away from seeing my dad after he even came up to surprise me from running. Right now I'm taking out about another 10-20 minutes real quick to do this episode, then go upstairs and just hit upload, let it go, and be able to spend some time with my dad, and really grateful for that. But on the flip side, we can also talk about it. Sometimes surprises happen that throw you through a loop in a bad way. That could be anything from family news of death or anything, and it's a surprise that you aren't expecting, and sometimes that can really halt you in your tracks. I know especially last year in 2020, I wasn't trying to challenge myself to run every day, but I had challenged myself to run a marathon in October of last year, 2020, and I was training for it all throughout 2020 from the beginning of the year. And I, wasn't on a perfect schedule, but I was pretty good and pretty consistent with getting out there. And I remember tragedy struck really close within our golden retriever, Lucy, who is such a great dog. We've had her for 5 years. She was a stray. We got her when she was around 4. Um, she was such a great dog, one of the best dogs I've ever experienced and had, and she loved me to death. And she got sick, and as soon as she got sick, it was like a whole 2-week ordeal of going back and forth to the vet, and me just being depressed, and other things in my life were happening at that time with some billing issues that I was having with DTE that I'm kind of currently now still having, but that's besides the point. We're not going to talk about that. Don't worry about that. But everything was happening all at once, and it was just a huge surprise, and it really threw me off, and I got into a deep depression, and I kind of fell off of being able to go out there and really stay on my schedule of trying to get ready for that marathon. And I remember it was pretty much all throughout the end of August, really, and then basically most of September, I just kind of fell off of running. In the October, I was going to run, even though it got canceled. I was meeting my buddy Joe to go. We were going to run one together in Hines Park, and we were going to do it in October. And I remember I just fell off those for 2 months of just not running, and just gave up on it, and I couldn't find the energy to do anything because I was just kind of sad and didn't know what to do. And there's those surprises, and they will hit you, and they will halt you. And when that happens, you can't beat yourself up for situations like that, especially if you can't follow through with everything that you plan to, especially perfectly. You are going to fall off of schedule, and everything isn't going to work out as planned. But as long as you can pick it back up, pick up the slack, and get back and get everything you need to get done, take the time off you need to, whatever it may be, but really get that hustle. That's what I did. I took the time off of a month and a half of just not running barely at all, maybe going from pushing out 33 miles a week to going to maybe 10 or 12, if that, for a month and a half, and then really trying to bust my butt towards the end of September to get ready for the beginning of October that I was going to run this marathon. Still was able to run the marathon. I was out of shape. I was not ready for it, so I didn't finish it at the perfect time I wanted to. Did run it with my buddy Joe, who, he's a great runner. I'm not going to lie. He's bigger stride than me. He has a little bit faster pace than me. So I know just keeping up with him, I overexerted myself a little bit earlier than I technically should have if we were just racing the regular marathon, where I could have just went at my own pace and not try to stick up with him and talk with him. And there's a whole bunch of other factors. I didn't do the best marathon I could, but the point is there was outside circumstances. There was a surprise that happened in my life that I wasn't expecting, and it threw everything off. But I made sure that I was able to kind of rework everything and still follow through with the initial plan, even after missing the time I missed. So that being said, that's all this episode is about, is the different surprises that kind of come in your life. They can be good or bad, but they will throw off your scheduling a little bit. But the main thing to do and to remember is to, no matter how much they throw it off, is to remain focused and to pick up the slack where you left off. So for your daily discipline today, actually, before we get into daily discipline, let's also talk about this aspect of surprises. Like I said, the feeling of the good surprise is an amazing feeling too. So what happened today, it was such a good feeling. Like I said, I was almost in happy tears. It was just unexpected and great. And for that reason, that's kind of what I want to talk about for the daily discipline. It's not even to not necessarily, like what we're talking about the surprise earlier, it's not to necessarily, try to just finish what you were started when surprises happen. That is part of it, but your daily discipline for today, though, actually to make the world better, is to surprise someone in a good way. Like I was surprised today, I'm going to try to surprise someone as well, and I'm going to try to pass on and continue to pass on those kind of good moments and those good surprises and those good feelings to someone else that is not expecting it at all. That is your daily discipline today, is to surprise someone with something good who is not expecting it, who may or may not even deserve it, who just find someone that you want to really surprise who isn't expecting it and surprise them with something good. That is your daily discipline for the day. Episode 107. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. There's plenty more that I could talk about, but we will bleed it into tomorrow's episode because and that's just kind of gear and stuff I want to kind of to talk about, but because it's kind of getting late and I want to make sure this episode can get uploaded before midnight. So episode 107 is now in the books, guys. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. I am your host, Scott. Make sure you guys follow, share, subscribe, and whatever else. I can't even think right now what the other one is. On our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platform you guys listen to us on. Please follow, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 108. That's pretty much it. So make sure you guys stay disciplined, and peace out.